Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakag Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Brakatham, to the elect, whom this gospel is for, and it's your brother Laban yet again. And I'm going to be very brief with this video, even more so because of the time. And I want to get into this over here, man. And as this reads, the former CDC chief fears Ebola outbreak will become a very significant pandemic. The virologist who led the agency during the early stages of the COVID-19 crises told New Nation presenter Elizabeth Vargas, and I remember this too, on Wednesday, that he believes the outbreak could become very disruptive, adding that it appears to be moving very rapidly. Despite the concerns, the Center for Disease Control, or just to keep it short, CDC, and Prevention, has said the risk to Americans remain low, although authorities are counting to take precautionary measures. And as well as I have read, the main speaker of the World Health Organization, he's also announced that in a way that it's becoming more urgent in a roundabout way, as long as I can quite remember, and I'm saying it in my words, my own words, rather than speaking in the way that he spoke on this Ebola virus. And we was just having to hear the announcement of the hantavirus. I call it the hunter virus instead, but the hanta is called the hantavirus, right? So we just got done hearing about that, and now we're hearing about the Ebola outbreak. And as well as what we've been saying, man, what Esau is going to possibly stage is what you call a polycrisis. And if that's going to drive the people to feed intensively, then that's what's going to get the ball rolling eventually, isn't it? For people to consent to the one world system that they have already in mind, and they had in mind for all these centuries, since the 1700s. And so what I want to do is I want to read this as well. This is Sirach 5 and verse 15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything in great matter or small." And we have that ability to not be ignorant in anything great or matter small, as well as is written in the book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 20, that the Lord have given us an unction, and we know of all things. All right. So thanks be to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai for revealing the words to us, and so that now we know our enemies as well as we know who we are. All right. So we have the greater advantage of this devil. We've become wiser than the children of this world. All right. So as well as what Churchill even said, he gave a quote. He said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And what was the crisis at the time? I think, this was around the Second World War, which we know that the Second World War was nothing more than a banker's war, right? All of that information is out there as to why there was a world war in the first place, the Second World War in this case. So that's really where he was coming from with that, as well as we now know intricately well. Okay, so Esau's always been about causing confusion and these things, just so that he can get his way where it concerns his agenda, by making these policies, and as well as it's written, right, that he frameth mischief by law. That's what this man does. So what's going to drive the world quicker to the one world system? Crises do that. So instead of building the world to the new world order system without crises, that's going to take quite a bit of time. And what they want is things to move quick towards their agenda. So the best way to move things quickly is these crises. Case in point, look what the COV era did. It moved as quickly to where we're at right now. Now we're about to merge with what? AI. Prior before the COV era, people were comfortable speaking with one another. Like, you would find yourself someone sparking a convo with you, or vice versa. You never left the house without speaking to anybody. But now it's like most of the times you don't even go out. Most of the times when you go out, you just know, which is very true, you end up not even speaking to anyone all day. And now people have become more lonelier than they've ever been because of this era that we're in. Thanks to COVID, right? So that's what we're saying. So I mean, things have moved quickly after that crises have taken place. All right. So that's how Esau gets down. That's how he's going to move us quickly to his agenda. So if one crisis did a whole lot to bring us swiftly, how much swiftly will we be brought to, again, his agenda with poly crises? Come on now. So as this reads, Ebola outbreak poses massive challenges. This is what the BBC is now saying. This is mainstream news from England. Warns nurse. Kate White, who is a program manager for the charity of Medicines Sans Frontières, I guess that's French, I'm not sure about that, and is flying out of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and say she is extremely concerned about the inability to get resources to the country. And she has to say all of this because they told her to say this. There's key heads that are told to speak on things in ways to get people gravitated to get, let me use another word, to get people engaged with this idea that, oh man, we have another variant that's floating out in the air and it's killing people. But the fact of the matter is that what's really going on is what happened during the COV era, with the thing that most people were told to get. All right. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now let's look up this word advantage.
Strong's G 4122. Pleonekteo. Pleonekteo.
Right. Pleonekteo. To have more or a greater part or share. To be superior, excel, surpass. Have an advantage over, to gain or take an advantage of another, to overreach. And we can easily do that. Why? Because we have a spiritual superpower that we believe in, that we are tapped into. So when we read these precepts and we gain knowledge and understanding of them, now we know all things, as well as I just quoted in the book of 1 John chapter 2, and if I'm correct, verse 20. Okay? So we know prophecy even to include, and the prophecy speaks on about how the time will come where Esau is going to bring the mark of the beast and his image. And the image is basically what? The New World Order. As Klaus Schwab coined, the Great Reset. Right? So that's what all of these crises are all about. And the Lord has opened our eyes. Again, he's quickened us alive and opened our eyes and our ears to had taken heed and observe what was being said. And now we see everything clearly. And now we know this devil more than he knows himself. We know what moves he's going to make before he even makes it. That's how of a greater advantage we have because of the Holy Scriptures. Again, Christianity didn't teach us in this fashion. It was the truth that taught us. The men that had the truth which taught us, okay, that we were Hebrew Israelites. And so that's the thing. So when you learn of the Hebrew Israelites, you learn to understand the true when you learn after the Hebrew Israelites, you also begin to learn the truth of it all, of the Bible. And then you can relate it to real life as well. Okay? And you can see everything that's happening in your generation, in your time. And when you check it, prophecies are coming to pass. You know? So that's the thing right there. That's what you want. Now we're talking. So yeah, that's all I got to say with this. Giving all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, Bashim Rakak Widashim, with that I'm closing. Shalom.